All right. I know a few more people will be coming on. We're waiting for Michelle. That was a nice message from John to Michelle because she wanted somebody to talk her off the cliff.
Yeah.
And I mean, when somebody says, I've lost several dress sizes, but I haven't, what did she say? I gained a pound or something like that.
Well, I know. I wanted to slap her.
I know. It's like, read my book, please.
Yeah.
It talks.
She knows better.
That's
She
why.
knows
Well,
better than that.
sometimes this is what happens. We go into the old ways, no matter what. When you can see it on Facebook, on TV commercials, magazines. You want to lose weight. No, we don't want to lose weight. We want to lose fat. We don't want to lose bone and muscle. We want to lose fat, but we're conditioned. I can't wait to get on your diet. I don't have a diet. This is a lifestyle.
Right.
The reason why it's a lifestyle, if you live a bad lifestyle, and I have seen many bad lifestyles, not just with bad food, bad drugs, bad behavior. Hi, Diane. I like your hair.
Thanks.
But if you live a bad lifestyle, if you do good, good comes to you. If you do bad, bad comes to you. So when you live a lifestyle of, I want to be honest, I want to, follow in my life. I want to follow in the Word of God. I want to live a healthy, clean life. This is a lifestyle. I don't want to, like, every once in a while go out and rob a bank. I don't want to have a lifestyle of where I'm, I don't know, living in the park, whatever. The bottom line is I want a lifestyle that I can do without worrying about it and have it be affecting me in a good way. When you're over fat, not overweight, when we're over fat, we have been living wrong. Period. And the body that God has given us is a temple that we have to respect. We get very lazy and take advantage or take for granted our bodies. But when the car starts to make a noise under the hood, or all of a sudden it's chugging along, or there's some kind of ping and detonation you're hearing, the first thing you're going to do is I gotta cancel all my appointments. I have to get my car to the mechanic. Why? Because the priority of having your car be your wheels to take you where you want to go is so important. But we've all lost that that mindset of how important is my body. When people say, yeah, I'm going to start my diet after the first of the year. It's not a diet. It's how you choose to eat foods and put them in your mouth. Walking is a habitual habit that we all have to do. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to lift weights. You don't have to sweat your body out. Nothing wrong with doing that. But walking universally has been studied with thousands of people, and the consensus is walking 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week has a huge impact on not just losing fat, but also on your cardiovascular system, your lymphatic system, on really motivating your structural system, keeping it aligned, and also kind of lubricating all the joints. But it also, newsflash, when you stop walking and you walk into the house, guess what? You're still walking. But that 30 minutes has trained your brain to burn fat. So it's not just, oh, I got to walk, I need to lose weight. No, I got to walk to stimulate my cardiovascular system, clean out my lymphatic system, to stimulate my brain function, to help my back and my limbs. These are things, okay, I have to take my car in for, it has to be tested. I have to get an oil change. I got to get the filters changed. Well, everybody's on top of that. So this, especially this week, I feel like I should go week by week with you guys, because this is not difficult. I have been doing this for over 7 years straight, but the food combining I've done for over 20, 30 years. But this lifestyle is not difficult. It's just different. And the fact that if it's different, that means you have to sort of think about it. We talked about this last week where, you know, who learned how to drive a stick shift? Yeah. And did everybody find that very easy to do right out the gate? No. And I told you, my husband thought he was cute and he'd teach me how to drive a VW van stick shift in San Francisco. And if you know anything about San Francisco, there's no straight streets. It's like starts like this, you know? So I learned. I learned a lot of cuss words too, but I learned and I figured out how to do it. And after a while, I was rocking and rolling with the stick shift. Now I haven't driven a stick shift in a long time, but it's like a bike. You can get right back onto it because it served me well. So when I talk about flush your fat for good, we could have called it anything. We started out with, I think it was Fat Flush, but then there was another company with Fat Flush. So then we had to change it. But then it was Flush Your Fat for Life. And then we had to change that because some company had that and they came after us. So then I thought, well, you know what? I like when my mom used to say, goodbye, good riddance. So I thought, okay, flush your fat for good, for the good of your body, for the good of your mind, for the good riddance of getting rid of fat and not having to think about it all the time. The biggest problem when you're over fat, the biggest problem when you can't fit into your clothes nice and comfortable, the biggest problem when you sit down, you have to straighten your pants out. And then when you stand up, you have to, you know, you have to adjust your clothes because things just don't feel right. They don't fit good. The biggest problem with that is that you think about it every day. You should be able to get up out of bed, know how to eat, what to eat, when to eat it, because that's when you get into a car, first thing you do is put on your seatbelt. First thing you do is turn on the engine. Next thing you do is see, do I have enough gas to where I'm going? So that's what we all need to do, is take on the mindset, because this year is going to be a doozy. And it's not only just about losing the fat. By losing the fat, if you're 20 pounds over fat, you're linked to 20 plus health conditions. We can't do that. We can't be part of that. Most of you guys on this call have been part of Manatech or some other companies that are in the healthcare field. Most of you have been educated in a lot of nutritional science, and a lot of you know more than the average person. And that's because some of you guys have been educated for over 20 years. But it has to become a religion for you, you know, a physical religion, so that you really partake in your longevity. Do not want to live long and suffer. You want to live long and prosper. And the only way to do that is to get to your best. So when you guys, I want you to start looking at what you're doing every single day. And most of you know the lifestyle, but if you don't, what, Miss Sharon, is that the?
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, exactly. And so I want you guys to take a picture of one of your meals every day and post it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's like a burger wrap. I don't care if it's turkey with a pickle inside. I don't care if it's Jackie's chicken salad. I don't care if it's a bowl of fruit. I don't care if it's your latte. I want it to be conscious with you guys. So I want you to take a picture right after you make it, whatever it is. Just take a picture of it and post it and say something about it. Because this way, that'll be first and foremost on your mind. I don't want, God gives you what you want and what you don't want. So whatever you think of that you don't want, you've already now preached it out into the airways. Don't ever pray, oh God, please help me to lose this fat. Now you've just completely put it out in the universe that you're fat. It's got to be, God, thank you for helping me lose this fat. So you have to have the gratitude and the positive affirmations. You have to feel good about the choices that you're making for your body. You have to, because now I'm seeing a lot of people that are not doing well. And because of them not taking care of themselves, it's painful to watch them. And it's sad to watch them. And then as I started this whole thing, I see people that want to get back on track and they want to come back. Now they've tried their little gimmicks. They've tried their little, there's a shiny something over here that's real shiny. Hey, come over here and try this. Hey, come over here and try this. Again, this is not a diet. This is not a gimmick. This is not a substitute. This is literally biochemistry and physiology. Every single person should have a workbook and understand, keep it open to the 8 essential pillars. I didn't make this stuff up. This, as you guys know the story, this is through divine intervention. This was given to me. God downloaded this into my brain. And the first pillar is nutritional ketosis. Who knows what nutritional ketosis is? Juanita, you're muted, babe.
It's when your body switches from burning the food for energy to burning your fat for energy.
Kaboom, right on, exactly. And yet if somebody says, my daughter's trying to help a girl, a woman, she's got 5 kids and her husband works real hard and she's real heavy and they don't have a heck of a lot of money. They all, I think 6 or 7 of them live in a 2-bedroom apartment, but she wants to get the weight off. So my daughter said, Mom, can you send me over the book? This is a charity situation. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. And so this girl knows nothing about health, nothing about nutrition. And Savannah checks in on her every once in a while. And she goes, so how are you doing? She goes, I'm doing pretty good. I got a hold of some strawberries and I'm going to eat them today. And Savannah said, well, you want to eat them for breakfast, you want to, that's where you break your fast. And she said, and yesterday I had a cheat day. And she goes, a cheat day. And she said, asked her what she ate, and it was, I don't know, some cookie or whatever. And Savannah doesn't know how to teach this program, but I told her, I said, you just have to teach her the point of what is nutritional ketosis. If she goes long enough with what Juanita just said, her body is going to be completely in the programming of burning the fat for fuel. Now, if you eat starch or sugar, you're going to stop your brain and your brain's going to say, hey, some sugar and starch just came in. Let's just burn that for fuel. And forgets the fact that it's living off your own fat. This has to be religious to the point where at holiday time, my daughter's bringing me her homemade cookies with the chunks of white chocolate, which is a weak point for me, Idris. Not the dark chocolate, the white chocolate, which is not even chocolate. And so I told her, I said, no. She goes, no, Mom, come on, you got to try it. It's the holidays. I said, no, I'm not doing it. And she goes, but you look great. And I said, yeah, but I'm with everybody else. We're all doing this together. Strength in numbers. I said, just let me smell it. I was committed. Just let me smell it, because if you smell what you want to eat, that's pretty good. It'll go right up into the brain. Your brain's gonna go, oh yeah, I remember that taste. Oh wow, that's good. You don't need to satisfy eating it. The taste, when you eat licorice doesn't have a taste. It has a smell. And some people really, really hate licorice. I love it, but some people hate it. The bottom line is, if I can smell something, and you guys should try it, because that's one of your tools on trying not to eat what you shouldn't. It doesn't mean that that cookie's not going to be around again. Doesn't mean that the, whatever it is that you want to eat is not going to be around again. But how you're going to take care of the engine in your car is how you're going to take care of your body. Now, I'm being hardcore right now with all of you because the spring's coming, and you can take a whole year to lose 20 pounds, or you can take the next 3 to 4 months and lose 20 pounds. Men can lose it in 2 months. That's why we don't like you, Bill, because you guys can lose fast. But the men have the ability to burn fat better because of the testosterone in their muscles. And that's why I love the Osaline or the peptides. There's 2 different Osaline products, one from Manitech, there's another one from Biotest. That one doesn't have the lecithin in it, or another, there's a glyconutrient in it that's good for the brain. That's what Osaline has. That's why I like that. And I love the lecithin. It's an emulsifier. But we do that on an empty stomach. That's how it was designed. If you eat your fruit in the morning, you let it digest for 20 minutes. That's nothing. Go make your bed and jump in the shower. Brush your teeth, whatever. Your fruit is digested at that point, and then you have your latte. For those that, do the dark roast if you can't handle the caffeine, but it has to be organic. Do the medium roast if you like that buzz. Why not? Yeah, and Juanita, yeah, baby. You need your whip. You have the cactus in back of you, and the horse. Woohoo! Do you like Yellowstone? Have you seen that? I love that. Da, 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 da. So my point is, when the latte comes, we put cinnamon in the latte, which is great for your hormones. We put cayenne pepper, except for Juanita, because she's allergic. But it acts like a thermogenic, and it gives a nice little kind of holiday spice. But we also put the Osaline in there, the peptides, and we call it the fat burning, muscle building peptides. And what is that going to do on an empty stomach? Well, the caffeine coffee is very, very important, guys, especially if you can have up to 4 cups of coffee a day if you want. I can't do coffee after 2 p.m. or I'm vacuuming the house at 3 a.m. But with coffee, and you put those peptides in, it's on an empty stomach. It's going to go immediately through the stomach. It's going to go into the small intestines, your upper jejunum, and then it's going to go. And I talked this over with Butch Johnson from the Dallas Cowboys, and he and I both agreed, because we were on the study group for this. And that's why you want it in hot, because it's accepted. What does hot do? It helps to dilate. Cold, clamps up. It constricts. So you do that, and it's going to directly go to the muscles. It's going to be carried to your muscles with every twitch of your muscles. Driving a car, taking out the trash, cleaning the kitchen, whatever you have to do, making your bed, your twitching muscles. That's where you burn the fat. That's why you use that, so you can start getting shape, you start to get defined better. That's why we do the latte. We do 2 lattes a day. And later on, after the second serving of fruit, you do not have to do the coffee. I repeat, because some people say, I don't do the latte because I can't do coffee after. Now, you have to do the latte because you want that second servings of the peptides. It's a 20-gram protein drink. And this whole lifestyle is about taking in as much protein as possible. So when you think about what you're feeding yourself, make sure it's protein, because that's what's going to help you to burn fat and stabilize your blood sugar. Now, does anybody have any questions at this point? Because I'm waiting for Michelle too. You guys get this? This part, which is probably backwards for you all, but it's the science behind Flush Your Fat for Good. This is not the book, but the book gives you, to know why is to know how. Well, the book gives you the why, okay? This is the workbook, but the workbook is the first thing that I wrote. And that was to get everybody on a program when there was none. And I was forced to do this because it was so effective for me. And you guys know the story. My friend made me do it, and she threatened me, so I had to do it. She's 4'9", Italian, and you do not mess with her. The second pillar is food combining. Food combining, I started doing food combining, I think when I was like 28 years old, in the 70s, or I don't know, I'm bad at math, but I learned about it many, many years ago. And just that alone changes your digestive system, helps you to have better bowel movements, and you can tighten up and lose fat. Some people go, oh no, I don't believe in that. Well, really? They did in the 1800s. There were studies already done by, and it's in the book. You can read it in my book. I have all the sightings, and they tested fecal matter from people that were not doing well with their stomachs, and those that didn't food combine had, fibers and different things in their fecal matter, their poop, and it wasn't digesting, and it was holding up the works. When they decided to see which foods didn't go together well, and then they had these patients do a better program with their foods, the bowel movement was completely different. Your intestinal tract are the pipes of life. Everything in your gut is so important, because that's where your food goes to get digested, absorbed, and eliminated. So the best thing in the medical books say 4 bowel movements a day is top. But if you have 2 to 3 a day, well, I would say 3. 3 is, is wonderful. But I think when you have 4, like your life has changed. It's important, and you can tell. You can tell. What are you eating, Sharon? You're on mute. She's like, well, we're not eating anything. Busted. So I want you guys to take a picture of whatever you're eating. Just something. I don't care what it is. A cran flush, whatever it is, because I want that to be at the forefront of your mind. Okay. Is that goat cheese? Get yourself off mute and say what it is. Goat cheese. Am I right? Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Goat cheese is great.
Yeah, I've somehow I didn't think I'd ever like a goat cheese. I thought it was crazy. I thought, don't even tell me about goat cheese. But I've acquired a taste for goat cheese.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Because this is another problem with people. They're so set in their ways that same thing with goat yogurt. I had a client that was very wealthy, very well off to do with, you know, her husband's in bed and all this stuff and wants for nothing, but she wanted to get trim and fit. And she was like playing tennis and stuff. And I said, you got a lot of weight on those knees and ankles. You should think about it. So I took her over the book and everything. We talked about it. And then she texts me a couple days later, and can I put honey in the goat yogurt? So I can tell you didn't read my book. You know, and so I said no. And she says, well, what can I put in it? So I said, nothing. You're supposed to have the nuts. You soak them overnight. I said, read in the book, tells you how to do it and prepare those nuts so that you have the phytates off the nuts, and it'll be, you know, made these nuts into a live food. So you get the enzymes and you'll be able to chew them in with the goat yogurt. Oh, that was just the worst thing. I don't think I can do this, you know. I said, okay, look, in this book, it tells you, and I gave it to her. I said, it tells you how to do it. If you have taste buds all the way around your tongue. You have them for sour, salty, sweet, bitter. Where you don't have very many taste buds at all is in the middle of the tongue. So I said, just take just the tip of a spoon, put it in the center of your tongue and close your mouth and let the saliva go around that. And that will trigger the brain. And you do this, you keep doing this, you keep doing this till the brain says, you know what, that stuff is good for me. I want that stuff. That's going to be good for my gut. Goat yogurt helps you to lose fat. It's closest to the mother's milk, mother's breast milk. It's very, very excellent for you. And that little drop in the middle of the tongue is going to signal to the brain, and the brain's going to say, I think I'm going to start liking this. Well, after a little tip of the spoon, then you do a little bit more, and then you take like a little teaspoon. And before you know it, you acquire a taste to it. And that's because your body, Sharon, knows that the goat cheese is excellent. And it, you know, and you think like, oh, not, if you told me that last year, I'd say no way, you know.
That's right.
But I think that's with a lot of things. Broccoli. Ew, I don't like broccoli. I never liked broccoli. I don't want to eat broccoli. What, Juanita? Were you saying something? Oh, you were shooting a fly? So, but if you eat enough broccoli and you prepare it properly, after a while, your body says, you know what, I like this. I like this better than croissants. After a while, when you are off the starch for a long time, you get on a starch, especially those that have already lost all their weight, and I can help you get into phase 2. You don't feel very good on it. You do it, you remember the taste and stuff, but after a while, you know, you don't feel, unless it's really good starch and it's a well-made bread with a soaked, you know, like Ezekiel, and you can get gluten-free Ezekiel, or you know, maybe something that has a lot of vegetables with it, so it's like maybe a whole grain kind of pasta with vegetables, your body doesn't do well on it. And it'll tell you. That's why with phase 2, we should all look towards going to phase 2, but I don't stay in phase 2 for very long. I have maybe when I go into phase 2, I'll do certain things, eat like Ezekiel with avocado spread on it and some sprouts and things like that. After a couple of days, I'm done. I want to go all back to phase 1 again. And when you travel, the best thing to do is phase 1. It's the easiest. Where can't you go to get a steak and veggies, chicken and veggies, salmon and veggies, get a salad? Most of all the good restaurants have my Jackie's garlic grilled Brussels sprouts, and it fills you up. You feel good. So I think if you're confused and you don't really know how to start, when to start, where to start, or what should I do? And by the way, if you make a mistake, if you miss on the timing, it's low glycemic fruit is 30 minutes. We're not eating starch. This is boot camp, but that's usually 2 hours. So just vegetables, okay? This is low glycemic carbohydrates, vegetables. That's 2 hours of digestion. And then you go into the protein. If you do the chicken, the fish, the pork, the beef, whatever, that's 4 hours. Yogurt, yes, somebody asked me, how many hours for yogurt? You're having it with nuts. It's still a protein. 4 hours. So keep it simple. But if you make a mistake and all of a sudden you've been doing this for a while, and then you after that protein, you want to go, it's digested, and now you want to go into your second serving of fruit. If you cut that short, I guarantee you about an hour later, you're going to go, ugh, I don't know, I don't feel good. Oh my God, I didn't do 4 hours of protein. I did it after 3 hours. So what? That's how you learn. It's okay. You didn't blow it. You messed yourself up. But unless you eat starch, which will break that nutritional ketosis, you just have to continue doing better and better and better. Keep in we want the fat off for spring. And they're all talking about, and now they're talking, just recently, they've been talking on programs, news, podcasts. It's important you supplement. It's important that you lose the fat. The viruses are going to, they're talking about the viruses and everything. We've been talking about this for 25 years. Supplementation is extremely important because even if you're eating organic foods, they're picked green.
Yep.
You're not getting all that you need. So you do have to supplement. Remember, Dr. Bill McAnally used to say, you go into a health food store and there's 4,000, supplements on the shelf. What's the one you take first? And everybody's thinking, oh, you do vitamin C. Oh, you do vitamin A. Oh, you do this. Everybody's, yelling out. And he goes, no, you take what's missing. What's missing from the diet? Hello, Michelle. Are you driving?
I am. I'll be home in a minute, but right now I just wanted to call in so that I could.
Okay, good. We're glad you joined us. Are you?
Thank you.
Did everybody talk? Did they talk you off the cliff?
Yes, I'm sorry. I never even responded to anyone. I'm sorry. Yeah, that sucked.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
I thought it was a good exercise in stupidity. No, everybody told me. Even Lori Loest, I haven't heard from her in a while. She's so awesome, and she's been a coach for years. And get off the scale, she's.
Well, I mean, the truth is, I've probably weighed myself I mean, if I weighed myself 3 times in the last 20 years, it's a lot. I mean, I'm not a scale person. And 2 of those times were just now, like this time, and then 4 months ago when we started, I just wanted to see where I was at. So I'm not a person that gets on the scale all the time. In fact, my scale requires batteries, and I don't even leave the batteries in it.
Well, it's not it's not BMI anymore. It's body composition. So with the way you've been eating, you've been, building lean muscle mass, you've been building bone, and your composition of your whole body has changed. That's why you said you've lost, several dress sizes. If that's the case, you're not. And so I know, but I started this whole thing today on how we're so conditioned.
Yep.
And so anyway, it was good. I thought what you did was great, because everybody, and even John, when you go back and watch this, John showed up, Coach Pat's son, and gave you a good message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, Geraldine, you just joined us.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. Is this your first time with us?
On the Zoom it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a deer in front of me. Holy shit. Oh, sorry. I forgot we're recording. Wow, that's like a 6-pointer that was just in front of me.
Okay, just mute if you have to. What, Geraldine?
oh, have I met you or done stuff before with you? Is that the question?
No. This is the Zoom kind of. But it's
this is this is the first time I've joined you on Zoom.
okay, good. Well, good. We're happy to have you. What is your goal?
What is my goal? My goal is to reestablish regular healthy eating habits again.
Okay.
I don't keep myself under control unless I write stuff down. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to make sure I write stuff down all the time and follow it. And then I also do something really silly too. When I write stuff down, what motivates me is I like to put stickers on my successes. And so my goal is to make a pretty journal book, but it piggybacks off of just being successful with controlling my weight, and I do have weight to lose. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting back in the swing of it.
I wrote it down for you. You have the book?
Well, yeah, I have the book. I have what I need to do is I need to, as I go through the day, I need to make sure that I don't overeat. And so I have to write it into a journal. I have to actively do something every day.
Okay, good. So we don't overeat or undereat. We just eat until our brain says you've had enough. So if you feel like you want to have 2 or 3 bowls of goat yogurt with nuts, that's not overeating, because your body is telling you you need that.
I know, but I have a tendency to nibble between meals if I don't write stuff down.
Okay, well, Pat, can you take over for 1 minute? I swallowed wrong and I have to get my.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So just repeat what you just said then, Geraldine, please.
Okay, what I said is, if I don't write stuff down during the day as I eat, then I have a tendency to start absent-mindedly eating or nibbling. And so that's how I keep myself in check.
Okay. And so you have the book, and so in the Jackie's daily data glance is written in there. Do you have the workbook?
I do. Well, I have that, and I have whoops, are you there?
I'm
Did I
right
lose you?
here. Yeah, no, and you've got the
I
charts.
lost the picture. I don't know where the picture is.
Well, we're all here. Can you hear us?
We see you.
I can hear you, but I can't see you anymore.
Maybe your screen minimized? Look on your tray. and
I
see if it-
don't know. I don't know.
Well, I see that in your hand. You have day at a glance.
Well, you've got the chart with all the foods. So
Yeah.
one of the things that the data glance and the workbook helps you with is the timing between meals. And that's what Jackie was talking about a few minutes before you and Michelle hopped on, is the importance of waiting that 20 minutes after fruit, having a latte, protein, and then 4 hours. So how do you feel with waiting 4 hours between the two protein meals?
That's kind of tough.
So that,
I
I
have to
mean,
admit that.
and I'm with you with that. Right now, I have my 4 hours isn't pristine because I find myself getting into my soaked nuts. And while they're permissible, they're not giving me that 4-hour fast of allowing my gut to digest fully that protein meal. So the when you're snacking, what are you snacking on?
Like it'd be like junk food, like or bread or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So part of that is it's a bit of a decision-making process. Maybe making a decision one day at a time rather than a big long time frame, and saying for this half a day, I'm going to see how well I can. I've read the book, I've got the charts, I have my food. I'm trusting the program, I'm seeing the results. If you're in the Facebook group because you found the Zoom thing and you saw Michelle's comment, 3 and 4 dress sizes since summer is absolutely amazing. So we know it can be done. And so it's a lifetime of changing food habits and what food means to us, because all of us are living with the stress of what our world is like right now. And these things that I reach for, which are nuts, you think you need that crunch or that feeling, and it doesn't serve us very well. So back to you, Jackie.
Okay, very good, Pat. Geraldine, if you are eating enough protein in your meal and you're eating a large meal and you're satisfied, say, for example, when you wake up in the morning, you have your fruit. 20 minutes later, you have your latte. Right after that, you have your protein vegetable meal. That could be Jackie's chicken salad, that could be goat yogurt and nuts, that could be salmon and veggies, that could be eggs, the 3-egg omelet, that could be several of the egg muffins, could be hot dogs and the beef hot dogs with eggs. I'm just thinking of all the things I grab for. But if I'm hungry 2 hours later, I'm still in a protein zone. I can go and eat more protein. So you don't have to snack on starch, on sugar, because what that's going to do is that's just going to take you out of nutritional ketosis. You have to think that starch for you is poison. And all you want by sharing.
Yeah.
No, I have a question. I have a question.
Okay.
What? All right. When you do that with the protein, you say I'm in a protein zone.
Yeah.
I've had protein. I already had my omelet, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I add some more protein. Doesn't that push that 4-hour window way out again?
Yeah, but so what?
So you could just eat protein all day and never
Well, once it's digested, your body's going to say, I've had enough of protein. And then you end it and then you go into your fruit. And if you don't want to do that, you can
How
just,
long after the protein do you have fruit?
you wait
4
for it
hours.
to digest 4 hours.
See, that's what I'm saying. You keep pushing that. If you keep adding protein, you keep pushing that.
It
You
could
never
be
get to your second fruit.
It could be just 2 hours, or you just do vegetables. Vegetables digest in 2 hours. So if you have a nice big 3-egg omelet,
Yeah.
that's sometimes that takes me a good 4 hours. But Jackie's chicken salad, sometimes I've had a nice bowl of Jackie's chicken salad, and an hour later, my body's saying, you're still hungry and I want that. You do not overeat, you don't undereat. But if you have to listen to your brain is dictating to you what your body needs. Not every day is the same, but if all of a sudden your body truly needs that protein and the content of what's in Jackie's chicken salad, the broccoli, the onions, the cucumbers, the lemon, the kale, all of that, your body can depend on for strength and endurance. So say you have your fruit, then you have your latte, say you go out and walk, you come back and you sit down to a nice big bowl of Jackie's chicken salad. You can do the turkey soup, you can do whatever meal you want. And then now it's 2 hours later and you're hungry, have grilled veggies. Have a bunch of veggies, fresh veggies in the lemon mayo dip. And just take the edge off until 2 hours later. Then you have your fruit. Do you understand that, Geraldine?
I do, but it's just not that easy. The reason why is I still work full time.
That's okay.
So I have to, I don't have the leisure breaking stuff up. I have to, there's only certain times like during the day that I can break away and I have to eat at that time.
Well, but when you're
So-
snacking, instead of a cookie or a cracker or a muffin, or
Right.
then whatever you're snacking, you can get a lunch pail, or if wherever you're working, and you have sliced up zucchini, cucumbers, asparagus. You can also have certain foods like the veggie muffins, the egg muffins, they're good cold, and you can eat that. There's certain things, it's choices. You can, if it's the fat you want to lose and the health you want to gain, then when you put something in your mouth, it has to be pre-planned. I know you work full-time, and we have a lot of people that work full-time on graveyard, but they were going to die if they didn't do something. So they had to make, and it's all about preparing. It's all about your mindset. So don't use that as an excuse. We can work it out. How much do you think you have to lose?
I'd like to lose about 25 pounds.
Okay, so where are we? We're January. February, March. Probably by April.
Yeah. A
But
pound a week.
Huh?
About a pound a week, I think.
Well, you could lose more than that. Are you on your feet when you're working?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I teach high school.
Oh, okay, so you're you should be fine. You're on your feet. You're doing a lot. Your body, you do activity when you teach high school. You have to go to the campus, you have to drop off the papers, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to throw some kid over the banister. You have a lot of stuff going on. So in my opinion, this is perfect for you. Perfect. You just have to be creative. Get a lunch pail. Get something if you have to throw an ice pack in it. Because Geraldine, we talked about this last week. Every thought you have, this doesn't mean you don't take care of others, but the first person you take care of now is you. We all discussed, you put the oxygen mask on you in the plane before you put it on even your kids. So right about now, if you change that mindset that Geraldine comes first and I'm gonna do till in April, I'm gonna have these 25 pounds off. My cardiovascular system's gonna be greatly improved. My lymphatic system's gonna be clear. And you can also find time to walk 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week. I know you probably,
True.
yeah, I know, because I have friends that are teachers, you can do it.
Yeah.
So next week, you're gonna tell us how well that went,
Of course.
okay?
Always. Puts me on the spot, right?
Well, hey, you found a link, you found a way to get here. And everybody here is on your side. They all want to see you succeed because they want to succeed. And it's called strength in numbers. We've had a hell of a year and we're all getting into a brand new year that is going to be one of health, energy, endurance, and happiness. Speaking of that, how's Margie?
Good. I was just going to say to Geraldine, 7 years ago when I started this and had great success, pretty quick. I was a substitute teacher. I didn't teach every day, but on the days that I taught, I went prepared with veggies and fruit and chicken salad. And when I felt hungry, I looked at the time, see what, and being a substitute teacher, I didn't know necessarily every time I went what classroom I was going to be in or when my breaks were going to be. But once I found out, I could adjust.
Yeah, and you did.
Yeah.
You adjusted beautifully.
And the other piece is when Geraldine loves to use a journal with her food, then sort of pre-planning your day in terms of mapping out what food you want to have at certain times of day, according to what you're learning with both the book, workbook, and your charts. That kind of puts you in the driver's seat in terms of your journal and your food consumption.
Yeah,
And that is awesome to see that.
yeah. That says a lot about you, Geraldine, because you're doing your best to get your brain to stay on track. But this whole lifestyle is habitual ritual. Once you learn, like riding a bike or driving a stick shift, you're going to be so happy because you don't have to mark it down. The only thing you'll have to mark down in the beginning, and how many people had to do that, is when did I have the fruit? When did I have the protein? What time was that? And then you start counting. That'll be right up your alley.
I'm glad that you were talking about this just now. Seriously, I came home so hungry. And instead of making my whole salad, I was going to go grab a piece of chicken that I knew that was in there. But then I heard you talking about like the fruit and I was like, wait a minute. And so I looked at the clock and I was like, wait, no. I'm like, oh yeah, it's probably been 4 hours. And so I just had an apple.
Yeah.
And then I'll have my salad in a while, even though it's like 9 o'clock here, but
the apple did it, right? The apple, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm famous for not always getting my second serving of fruit in the day. So I have been trying. Today, I really did kind of mess up eating otherwise, though, like messed up in the sense that I didn't eat breakfast and I ate my fruit, but that was it. I had a bunch of lattes and I really didn't eat until about, I don't know what time it was. I rolled up some turkey and some kale, but it was late in the afternoon. So I shouldn't have done.
Your stomach didn't have much to churn.
Oh yeah. And you know what? Not every day, but a couple times I actually pooped twice instead of once.
Holy cow.
Just saying.
Oh my God. We're such cheap dates, aren't we? We're just
I know, right?
I'm poop twice.
That make me
I'm telling you, I'm a cheap date. This is what we talk about at the dinner table.
Well,
What up, Juanita? Are you leaving? Bye.
hi, ladies.
Tell us how much you pooped next week. So, where's Diane? Hi, Diane. How are you doing? You're on mute, babe. There you go.
Having to really take stock and start writing down what when I'm getting my fruit and stuff in, and I have a hard time getting the latte in, and that, so it's
It's because you're a
having to eat.
caretaker.
Well, yeah, and
And-
things are always kind of crazy in the morning.
It
But
gets in the way.
I had realized, Juanita and I had talked about this, that I think that I never got that second serving of fruit in, or the second thing of Osaline and the soy in
Mm,
the afternoon.
yeah.
I think I tried the coffee once and I was up all night and I just kind of blanked that, oh, okay, so that doesn't work. And not really realized that I needed that second serving of fruit in the afternoon, and then maybe a hot soy
Yes.
with the Osaline again.
And
Because I said to her, I said, I don't remember, taking the soy Osaline twice. She said, well, you were supposed to have been.
Juanita said that.
Yeah. And that, so I have really been struggling for a long time because I've got about 50 pounds that has to come off now again.
Well,
So-
and remember, you can put cinnamon, cayenne pepper, a dash of cayenne pepper, or who was it talking? They like the apple spice, pumpkin.
Pumpkin pie spice. I think it was Joe Ellen last week.
Yeah, Joellen. And the thing is, it's the whole lifestyle is really easy. It's fruit, latte, protein and veggies, fruit, latte, protein and veggies. That's it. People go, oh, it's so complicated. No, it's fruit, latte, protein and veggies. Fruit, latte, protein and veggies. That's all it is. It's just
My-
the time.
My biggest thing is if I bake something for Jim, that if he wants it and I smell it and I take a nosedive. I can do really good for a couple of days and that. So I'm going to have to maybe start taking, kind of keeping track of my blood sugars and see if that's not part of what's going on.
Well,
But
if you
You
don't
talk
stay-
about smelling it. You talk about smelling it. And I think that's what gets me is the smell. If I'm
Don't bake
making
for him anymore.
brownies or something.
no, she has to care for him. But the thing,
Oh,
Diane,
He's had 2 brain surgeries and stuff. So it's just, you have to try to keep him content.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
He doesn't
uh,
get anything
make
with
your
it.
food first. Take care of yourself first. You have to
Oh.
have some food in your mouth while you're cooking for him and get yourself, your brain, once you start chewing, your mouth has mucosal cells. That it absorbs in there. Once you start eating, even if it's a turkey wrap, even if it's eggs and you're eating that while you're cooking for him, your lifestyle and your protein and what you're putting in your mouth is first. Then you cook for him. Have you ever noticed that if you're eating something and your body's satisfied with it, then you can cook something else for someone else, because then you're taking care of your own body. The worst thing to do is go into a store shopping and you're
If you're
hungry.
hungry.
I mean, the bill is double. So,
Right.
Idris, how's the chocolate?
Thanks.
Did you like try 3 days without it, Idris?
I made it a day and a half.
Well, hey,
hey, that's a half a day longer than the last time you
yeah,
said.
Michelle pooped twice and she went a day and a half. I'm happy. End of story.
Good.
Yes. All right. Well, listen, girls, and Bill. He's on mute, but
He moved down here. He's moving around in the
Oh,
kitchen.
did he? Okay. I love your Christmas tree. It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. So
I love it. You still have it up.
I know.
Well, we usually have it up late.
I would,
Really,
I'll put it up We put it up late and we take it down. We've had trees in the past that have actually grown.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But do you wait for the Epiphany? What's the date, Diane? You know, you're Catholic. What's the
6th.
Epiphany?
January 6th.
Oh, you're way past.
Way past. Sometimes it's Valentine's.
Beautiful. Why not? I love it.
This is the first year we got a not live tree. We bit the bullet.
I've done that before. I have done, you know, but all right, girls, here's the program. Geraldine, you have no excuse. You were just told. So we got your number, babe.
You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, take it from Margie, because we have some of her troubleshooting calls on the website. And you could hear her. Oh, but what if I don't like coffee?
Can I drink tea instead?
Priceless. These are priceless. Diane, cook first before you cook for him. Gerald, Idris, let's go another half day, maybe 2 days. Michelle,
You
keep
can-
going. I like your hair and makeup today. It looks good.
Thank you. Well, that's actually what I had to do. I had to meet some people to videotape something for somebody's 60th birthday.
Oh,
So I had to primp.
so you had to look good. Pat,
Can't go on
thanks,
camera unprimmed.
thanks.
Anyway, but thank you.
over, Pat. And I want you guys today, starting tomorrow, whatever you make, I don't care what it is, could be like a bowl of some grapes and whatever. I want you to take a picture of it and post it, because this is, it's going to be a mental thing. You guys are going to be focused on what you're eating. You take a picture of it and you post it. This is what I had for lunch. This is what I just snacked on. This is what blah, 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 blah. I want to see what you guys are up to. So we'll just keep doing that for this week. And next week, we're going to get into a little bit more of the essential pillars, because to know how is to know why. And once you get that done, it's your, you know, habitual ritual that you don't have to think much about. And what'll make you think about it is if you made a mistake and then your digestion isn't taking place well, and then you'll feel it in your gut. The whole thing about this is digestion, absorption, and elimination. All right. So until next week, I love you guys. Thank you. And we'll
Thank
meet
you.
later. Bye.
Love you too.
Bye.
Thank you.